Kim Kardashian, Rihanna, Halle Berry, Madonna, and Mariah Carey. What do all these women have in common besides being famous? They have survived abusive relationships with their significant others. Of course, men can be subjected to domestic violence and abuse too, but according to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, 1 in 4 women have been victims of domestic violence and 1 in 71 men are victims. Although many celebrities suffer from this type of abuse, it can happen to anybody. Domestic abuse is more common than many think. Statistics say at least one person you know has or will be affected by domestic abuse. Unfortunately, this is a growing epidemic around the world, but mostly in the United States. According to the Huffington Post, a woman is beaten every 9 seconds in the United States. In America, October is the official Domestic Violence Awareness Month. But I feel it is important to keep the conversation open and spread awareness about this issue all year long. Being the victim of an abusive relationship is more than being hit or shoved. There are 4 many different types of domestic abuse, 1 being physical abuse, 2 being verbal abuse, 3 being emotional abuse, and 4 being sexual abuse. According to loveisrespect.org, physical abuse is any intentional and unwanted contact with you or somebody close to your body. Sometimes abusive behavior does not cause pain or even leave a bruise, but it is still very unhealthy. Examples of physical abuse include scratching, punching, biting, strangling or kicking, hitting, shoving, and choking, throwing items at you such as a phone, book, shoe, or plate, grabbing your face to make you look at them, or preventing you from leaving. Verbal abuse is described as negative defining statement about the victim, such as threats and insults, calling you names, and putting you down. Emotional abuse is easily mixed up with verbal abuse, but is very different. Emotional abuse includes constant monitoring or checking in, excessive texting, humiliation, intimidation, isolation, or stalking. Examples of this would be telling you what to do or where, preventing you from seeing or talking to your friends and family, blaming you for their unhealthy behavior, threatening to commit suicide to keep you from breaking up with them, and threatening to expose your secrets. According to PreventionViolence.com, sexual abuse refers to any action that pressures or coerces somebody to do something sexually they don't want to do. It can also refer to behavior that impacts a person's ability to control their sexual activity or the circumstances in which sexual activity occurs, including oral sex, rape, or restricting access to birth control and condoms. It is important to know that just because the victim didn't say no doesn't mean they've said yes. When somebody does not resist an unwanted sexual advance, it doesn't mean that they consented. Sometimes physically resisting can put a victim at bigger risk for further physical or sexual abuse. Some examples of this include unwanted kissing or touching, rape, and unwanted sexual activities. Anyone can be an abuser. They come from all different economic backgrounds, religions, ethnicities, which make it hard to narrow down to one person. But there is no typical physical characteristic of an abuser. However, they do often display common characteristics. An abuser will objectify the victim, see them as objects, or blame their stress and bad behavior on their partner. It is important to be able to detect the warning signs and red flags of an abusive domestic relationship within yourself or others. The most common signs include extreme jealousy, possessiveness, unpredictability, a bad temper, cruelty to animals, extremely controlling behavior, persistence of financial control, guilt trips, and withdrawal of affection to others. Once you have identified that you or someone else might be in a violent relationship, the next few steps are very crucial. The worst thing you can do if you recognize this is do nothing. If you think a loved one is the victim of a domestic relationship, sometimes it is not the best option to go straight to the victim. In some cases, the abuser will threaten the victim if they say anything or reach out to other people, so they may feel reluctant to open up. It is important to reach your local domestic violence shelter or hotline and seek professional help. If you yourself are the victim of a domestic violence relationship, no matter the threats you receive from your abuser, it is important to reach out and get help. If you don't, you may remain in a vicious cycle of abuse. Even if the situation does not involve you, it is important to take charge and help spread awareness. According to domesticshelter.org, most cases of domestic violence are never reported to the police. Domestic violence is a serious legal issue that needs to be reported in order to overcome this epidemic. If you see or hear something that is better to be safe than sorry, this could be the difference for life or death of a victim. The choice is up to you. Let's beat the odds. Thank you.
Very good. Good job. I'm proud of you.